Okay, and so on today's show, I've got a very special guest. I've got Alejandro Salvador from Salvador Tax and Legal. As most of you know, Alejandro has a company here in Almeria, in Allbox and Mojaca, helping people with all their legal work and passports, paperwork, you name it, they do it. Also, Alejandro, as a lot of you know, is the Honorary British Consulate for Almeria. So, good morning, Alejandro. Welcome to the show.
Hello, David. Thanks for inviting me.
Great. Now, Alejandro, I've had a few questions from my followers. So, if I just start off with the Irish passport, a lot of people are going the Irish passport route to get to be able to live in Spain. So, can we just go over that? What is it, and how is it affecting people that are British? Can they all get it, or how does it work?
Well, it depends on them, because I don't know the requirements to get the Irish passport. What is clear is that for anyone, especially from the UK, that after the Brexit things are a bit more difficult to get into Spain or in the European Union and live here permanent, taking that Irish passport route is going to be easier to live in Spain. Why? Because of course Ireland is still a member of the European Union, and for members of the European Union, living in Spain or getting let's say residencia is much easier, let's say a bit cheaper, than or the requirements are less than if you come from the UK. If you can get it, of course, I don't know if it's because you have family that used to be Irish, or the requirements they are asking that I don't know, it would be much easier to apply and live in Spain, yes.
Good. Yeah, I think a lot of it is people have got grandparents or relatives that are Irish, so they're going down that route. But it seems to be a lot of people doing that at the moment. Okay, so a question from Michael in Mojaca regarding the non-lucrative visa. Now, Michael says he's been here for a year almost on the non-lucrative visa. He's bought an apartment in Mojaca, and they're going to be asking him for the proof of income for the second year after he's been here 1 year. He's saying, can he use his property, the money he's got in his property that he's bought, as income, or does it need to be cash in a bank?
Well, yes, with the non-lucrative visa, you have to renew after the first year of staying in Spain, and you have 2 months before or after the date that you obtained the non-lucrative visa. In theory, what the law says is that you can prove with assets, investments, and so. But in practice, they don't accept that you just own the house, because this is not generating any income for you. The purpose of the law is that you can make your life in Spain without getting any help of social care or anything like that. So having just a house, of course, helps, but it's not giving you any kind of income unless you rent it or do something with it. If you rent it, even if it's holiday makers, that income should be declared, and of course you can consider that as part of your income. But normally the easiest way would be that you prove it the same way that when you came, is with funds in the bank in Spain or in the UK or anywhere else, or any other income that you may have, pensions, I don't know, rentals outside of Spain, whatever.
So it all adds up together. You can add it all up together, but the property itself is not really. It's not really a way of supporting yourself. They're actually looking for money that you've got coming in regularly that you can support yourself, and you won't need to depend on the Spanish government.
That's right. It's the same as if you have jewelry or you have a car or a van. Yeah, it's an asset, but for them it's not considered an asset that can bring you or is bringing you money.
Sure. Okay, and also we've also got Stephanie has asked about the non-lucrative visa. After 1 year, she wants to work in Spain, and as we've been over some time before in the videos and chats, that you can work after 1 year on a non-lucrative visa. Stephanie's saying, does she need to apply for another visa? Is it completely different? Will she have to apply for that, or is it just a change of the visa she's got?
Well, when you obtain your non-lucrative visa, that is done in your country of origin, in this case in the UK, in any of the Spanish embassies, London, Manchester, or I think in Edinburgh also, you can apply there. Then you have to come to Spain when you make your trip to Spain to your removal. Then you will have to go to the Foreign Office in the place where you live, and that you have to apply what we call TIE, that is given through this non-lucrative visa. when you are about to renew in the first year, you can choose to renew the same way you did it in UK in this case, with the proof of money and then the other requirements, or you can let's say Swift change to another way of not a visa, but it's like a residence permit that is obtaining through applying for a job. If you have an employer that is offering you a job and they are registered, of course, and they are a reliable company, you can get a job offer, and with that job offer you can change or Swift your non-lucrative visa into a working visa. The same as if you want to do it through being self-employed. You could apply or change your status and with the possibility of having a business here. They ask a bit of requirements, that is that your business must be approved by a small authority that they say that this business is going ahead. It's not very complicated. You just have to submit a report of your plans. It's a plan for the business, and again you will apply with that or for that change into autonomous. When they accept, your TI is changed, and then you will you have the possibility of registering.
This is only after the first year, after 12 months, yeah?
That's right.
Okay, great. And also working remotely in Spain. Now, some people are working for British companies. They want to live in Spain. How does that work, working remotely? There's some slight changes with that. Can you explain?
Well, yes. In theory, with a non-lucrative visa, if this is what you got, you can't work in Spain, or you can't work for a Spanish company. The law doesn't say anything about working for a company abroad. The thing is that if you want to commit 100% illegality in Spain, when someone is living in Spain, working for a company outside Spain, in theory, this company should be paying Social Security for you in Spain. This is sometimes complicated for, especially for small companies, to do that, because they have to register here, they have to produce a pay slip. They would need the advice of a gestor to do that. So it's not so easy. So for the first year, at least for the first year, I think working remote officially or legally is a bit complicated. What you can do is, after the first year, renew this residency in the way we told you, with the self-employed way. You can register as self-employed in Spain, and instead of having a pay slip, what you would do is you will invoice your company in the UK or anywhere else every month or every week, the same as you were doing before. With that, being registered as an autonomous, you have also the possibility of getting free healthcare, because you will pay us an amount to the healthcare system. So my advice is that if you are going to work here remote, to register as self-employed, because it will be cheaper for you and for the company, because if they have to register yourself as an employee here, pay the Social Security here, that is a bit expensive. It may be not help to do this.
Probably easy if they wait for the first year is up after that. I often say to people, use that first year to set up, think about what you're doing, get yourself sorted, and then look into working remotely or working self-employed after the first year. It will be a little bit easier.
That's right.
Okay. And one other question about tax. Some people have said to me here, some older retired people say, well, I don't need to show my tax returns. I don't need to declare any tax. I'm not working in Spain. But who needs to present their books every 3 or 4 months? And who needs to declare? Is it everybody, or is it only people that are working?
Well, in Spain, you just have to submit quarterly if you have a business. If you are a normal employee, or you live from your pension, you will have to declare every year. So you have to...
just once a year?
Once a year. Normally it starts in April up to 30th of June of the year after. So if we have the calendar year as our fiscal year starts in 1st of January and it's up to the end of December, and they give you 6 months to submit your tax return as fiscal resident. Now, I know what you mean, and people think that because they are paying the taxes in England, living in Spain, they don't have to do anything, and that's not correct. If you live in Spain, more than 6 months in this calendar year, you are obliged to submit your tax return here, of course with some limits. Those that are earning less than 14,000 euros, they don't need to do it because they are below the threshold. I normally recommend for these new buys that are coming to at least for if they are below this threshold, but to say I'm here, I'm a fiscal resident in Spain, I became a resident of Spain, I will declare at least a couple of years. But if you are above this 14,000, you surely have to declare everything in Spain, with some exceptions about like if you were a civil servant working for the army, or if you were the police, something like that. When this happens, in theory, these pensions do pay taxes in the country of origin. You will have to pay for that in your country. But take this example that imagine this person that is retired, it's the age of retirement, they are getting an army pension, and they are more than 65. They will normally get the state pension, what is called old age pension. If you are getting that pension also, you have to declare both pensions in Spain. You will not pay for the army pension, but you will pay surely for the other income.
It's an income, so you need to declare it.
Yeah,
if you're not sure, it's better safe than sorry to declare it anyway, no?
Yeah. I mean, what you can't do, and this is happening in Almeria, there are really difficult stories that we are suffering from clients that they didn't know anything, they didn't know that they had to declare in Spain, they thought they were doing correctly, and then the tax office comes and they don't come for the year that just passed, they come 4 years back. Now they've been doing a big campaign of 2017 and they are sending letters from many clients of us and they are asking to pay taxes in Spain.
So we can go back up to 4 years in the past to check everything is right. So it's best to do it correctly the first time round.
That's correct. And why are they doing that? Because they charge interest on that amount. Imagine someone that because of this declaration they don't do it, and the tax office calculates for themselves because they know the income. That's very important to know also that the tax office is receiving the pensions that normally people are getting, right? And it's not that they ask. They will receive from the HMRC, they will receive the pensions that people are getting. So they can do it easily for you. They just can do your calculation. Imagine someone that the amount to pay is 2,000 euros, then you will have to add interest on that since the day you had to submit that until the day you pay. Yeah. So it's 4 years, and it could be a lot of money, plus a penalty.
Yeah.
So something that if you pay on time, it could be 2,000. It could go double probably. So we have to be careful with that. And my message always is that please ask for help if you don't know if you have to declare, but at least make sure that your things are in place, because otherwise in the future you can get a surprise. And I have real hard stories of people that they have to go back to England because they can't pay 4 years.
Yeah, so always best to ask a professional like yourself. Okay, so thanks very much for that, Alejandro.